Hey, this is HansPerm once again. Welcome to my channel. I'm back, and today I'm going to have a run through algorithms on orientation of the last layer, particularly on this stage. I will not be performing a solve of Rubik's this time, but let me try just to to give you a run through on the 57 OLL algorithms. This might not be perfect though, but we'll see. I'm having here the coming from the resources developed by Feliks Zemdegs, and technically this is the sheets that I memorized during the past pandemic or lockdown. It took me about 4 months to complete to become a full OLL. Till now, I'm still developing my muscle memory, and of course, I want to have a precise and efficient, a bit faster way to to execute those algs. But I'm not. I'm still new, by the way, in cubing. I just passed my year of cubing, and I started last year about February. And of course, everyone started with beginner's method, and eventually shifting into a CFOP method. And on CFOP method, of course, even till now, I'm developing my most efficient way of solving the white cross. And I don't know if you believe me, I even done my F2L for the last part of practicing and learning some algorithms, but I'm still only working with kind of intuitive way of the F2L. And of course, during those days, I'm performing a two-look OLL. I'm just only having a handful OLL algs during those days, probably about 12, 12 or 13 algs on OLL, just performing a two-look. And I have a chance of memorizing and practicing a day at least one or two algs until such I became a full OLL. Similarly, when I also started working with PLL, I'm only having about seven or eight or nine PLL algorithms, and of course I completed the full PLL before I completed, of course, the OLL. Okay, so this time let's start uh, with this approach that developed by Felix Zemdegs and Andy Klise. They have this all edges of oriented correctly, um, that comes with seven algorithms, and a T-shapes also that comes with two algorithms. A square shapes comes with also two algorithms. A C shape also two algorithms, and W shapes comes with two algorithms. Corners and correct edges flip also comes with two algorithms. Actually, some of few of these algs I'm doing some mirror, but not all. Actually, it depends on if there are some equivalent mirror on those algs. Probably later I will perform it and show it to you. And of course, we have also P shapes, and the P shapes have four algorithms. I shapes comes with four algorithms as well. Fish shapes, four algorithms, and night move shapes comes also with four algorithms. And I think this is one of the last algorithms I've learned on OLL, which is the awkward shape. Pretty much it's very hard to perform because a bit longer algorithms, and sometimes it's hard to recognize. And it comes with the four algorithms as well. The L shapes comes with six algorithms. Actually, when I was about to complete some of the shapes, every time I added some shapes on that particular algorithms, it's becoming more complex of recognition because there are coming so many variants, especially in these L shapes. I remember I just have a couple of algorithms in L shapes, and then when I completed the six, it became much more difficult for me to recognize. And the more algs that I memorized at the moment, and I'm getting more time to execute and to complete my solving in 3 by 3. And yes, that's kind of the reality. And tell you frankly, if when I reach this full OLL, I came back to 6 sub 60 second solve till maybe about 40, and even till now, if I done mistake during my solve, definitely I will be having more than 30 seconds. Same thing also with the lightning bolt. It comes with six algorithms. So this is what one of those algorithms that hardly I could recognize whenever I'm adding some shapes on those particular algorithms. For no edges flip correctly, and this is so many actually, though I find it quite easy for me to execute this no edges flip correctly. And as a matter of fact, some of which I started even learning one of these no edges flip correctly, right? So now let's start with the first algorithms, which is quite common, which is became also a part of my two look OLL. Quite a few, and almost majority came from this all edges oriented correctly, right? So let's start with this. As we knew that it's a typical anti-soon, but I just recently used this alg performing this as because I used to work with the left, the mirrored one. When you knew the right algs, of course, you can also mirrored it also from the left, and that is what we call the anti-soon. But this time, of course, this is once that we perform this OLL number 26, we will also revert back to the soon algorithms, right? So I did perform only this first all edge oriented correctly, but when you perform that one, it will come a a soon, right, which is this one. This is now the typical that basically we are performing, right? And it's been a part of our two look OLL, right? The other one is this with this shape. It became also part of my two look, and this I think I remember they have mentioned this one as like an H shape, something like that, right? So it's quite easy to perform because it comes with what do you call this one, a sexy move, right? Right, there you go. So I might not be performing that the same on my screen, which is R U prime R prime and then U prime R U, but I still remember that the F with a 3 sexy move, and that will perform this shape. The other one is this number 22, which is the shape. I even remember I have performed this one differently during my two look OLL, but when I use this alt, it's quite easy for me now to perform now, right? So we can see the headlights over here, two headlights on this side, right, there you go. So now let's move on to number 24, right, this one. So this is also a part of This is also a part of the two look OLL. That basically it's a wide move for that. So right. Of course, it will bring you to another OLL. Okay, this is the shape. Right. So right there you go, and that is for OLL 24. The other one is this one for number 25, which is also a part of my to look OLL during those days. It will lead you to another shape, and there you go. Right, so it's the first time I also learned that the Y is in this manner. Right, so we have Y movement for that one. Right, right. Now, I mean Y, I'm sorry, that's for X. I'm sorry, because I'm not performing uh, the bold one there. I'm performing that the small X. Right, and let's move on to OLL 23. Right, where is that one? Over here, right? Yeah. So this is, I think it's the same algorithm I learned during those two look OLL, right? That there's two headlights over here, right? Right. It will not lead you to that OLL directly, right? And there you go. So which means I remember this one is like a U shape in two of OLL. Some of the tutorial I have seen from YouTube, right? So this is just already added while I'm performing and completing my 57 OLL. All right. Now I think I have mistakenly said it's a 8 one. No, no, it should be 7 only from these shapes. Now let's moving on to the T shapes. Right, this T shape is T133. It's quite popular, and it was also, I think, I'm performing a line here for a two look for a typical F. And when I saw this one, particularly in two T shapes, it's quite easy to perform. Right? Particularly, we could only use the RU, R prime, U prime after performing the F and F prime. So let's perform this number 33, right? Right, it will not lead you to that shape. Right, and there you go. Right, right there. So the other one is another T shape, is with the use of F. Right, with the use of F and with RU, um, R prime, of course. Did I perform that one correctly? Wait. Right, once again. Right, and oh no. All right, there you go. So this another type of T shape that it comes only with edge color yellow over here, or any color will do, depends on your color orientation. So I found this algorithms easy to add on to my OLL, and T shape is quite commonly seen on our solves as well. All right, now let's move on to squares. Oh, we have four shapes in squares, and actually this is a bit hard for me during those days when I added more shapes in squares. Recognizing it's quite very hard, though it only comes with two, right? Comes with two shapes, and the other one is both of them are working with um, wide R, using R, wide R, RW, R prime W, right? So for this we can perform this shape. It will not come directly from the shape. Right, there you go. So this is now one of the square shape that you can see that there will be two bars here on the top and two bars here on the side. So of course the square shape should be there. Right, it's quite easy to perform and memorize, right, because the other one should be over here and only we need to have a U prime for that. But this one is all basically I'm doing it on my right hand algorithms actually, some of which they do this U2 prime. Basically it should be in the left hand, right? So since it's you perform U2, uh, of course it would be the same either you do it on right or left, but most likely they Feliks wrote this U2 prime because probably it might be more efficient in left hand to perform, right? Right. Now the other one is still a square shape, but okay, our square will be on top. Right. There will be a combination of right and left lingo there. So our white is still there, and then return back. Of course, will will not go jump directly from that shape. Oops. I think I missed that. Missed that one though. Right. A second. Right. So. All right. Okay. Right. Right. All right, there you go. All right, now you can see the shape of this square is basically the bar on the top, but we have to perform this kind of shapes, right? So that's quite easy though. Of course, not easy for the first time, because when I start doing this, it's still a white turn is still confusing while you're performing these square shapes. Okay, now let's move on to C shapes. Okay, yes, I think even until now I'm having some hard time of working on the C shape, and hardly I do a lot of mistake on this shape. The other C shape is in this kind of one, but this is what much more easier for me though. This C242, right? So actually, you can see the shape, of course, C. So now let's perform first the C134, and to perform this one is same algorithm that will show also in our screen. Right, it will not perform directly from C shape. Actually, this is another OLL shape that later we will come to see. What is this? This is, I think it's a fish. No, but we have to perform once again, and there you go. So a couple of algorithms and it will go directly from C shapes. Later a bit, some of the algs will not go directly by performing more than two algs until you can see the shapes, right? So this is alright. The other one is another C shape with a C246 OLL, and forming this one is right. So another one, there will be another shape for the B input, but we'll just go on to right, and one more, and most likely this will come now to our shape. There you go. Right, so if I perform that one fast, and there you go. All right, now let's move on to the next OLL, which is the W. And in my W shapes, I might be performing a bit different. I think I'll just perform a normal W238, and later I will just perform the mirror of this one by turning this shape to from the left side, this two bars. Right, I remember was the first uh, W shape I first learned when I was completing my full OLL. And when I come to know, I can also perform this such by mirroring what I am doing on my right hand. And instead of doing this algorithm, I'll just show you if I could still remember. Hopefully I could perform it correctly. So let's perform first the W238 OLL, right? Right, one more time. Oops, missed that turn though. Let's fix this one first though. Actually, I'm trying my level best not to look for the algs because I got more mistake if I looking on the alg itself, and it's quite typical if you're trying to show off the alg while you're of course you're also talking. Of course, it's quite difficult sometimes. Yes, see, just like I'm doing at the moment now, I'm performing it right. Right, so let's perform this W shape. I think I performed it wrong though, right? This is like an F shape once again. And there you go. I think it took me 5 algs to show off this shape. Alright, this is now the typical W. And of course, I'll just be doing later the mirror of this by showing off this same shape, but this bar will gonna be here, and that edge color will be still be there. This one, of course, it will be here. Right. Right. So on the other one, which is the W136, I will not be performing this alg, but I'll just be performing. Alright, one second. Right. Okay. technically, if I'm performing the typical mirror, I usually performing on the back of my mind what I'm doing on my right lingo, of course. See, all right. Technically, if I'm not seeing the real shape, really it's hard for me to perform the all. Right, and there you go. Oh, see, this is what I mean to say. I'm performing the mirror of that right lingo. And there you go. Right, so it took us a lot of time in W shapes. And this is what I'm doing while I'm doing it, memorizing it. And it should come on my muscle memory. Alright, the next shapes will be for the corners correct edge flip, which I call this one as F shape actually. Yes. And the other one is H shape, right? It will be some middle slice here later and M slice. Alright. Now for this one is right, it will go on to H shape. And there you go. Right. The other one is, of course, if I perform this other edge flip, the E257, it will lead you to that F, typical kind of F shape though. Yeah, just like that. Another one, of course, it will come back to typical shape. Right, so that would be for both the E1 and E2, 28 and 28 and E257 algorithms of OLL, particularly the corners, correct, and edge flips needed. Okay, now let's move on to P shapes. Okay, P shape comes with 4 algorithms as well. And this P shape, I found it hard it also when time I'm completing my full OLL, right? Except for those wide turn, which you will see it later in P343, right? Okay, so we could start with this P131, right? Right, it will come to this shape later. Okay, we will solve this one later also. Right, another shape before it was the square shape. And pretty much it's, I think, not an awkward, but it will come there later as well. Right, and become a soon. And become a T shape. And reverse with this correct corners and edge flips. And my reverse W shape was, and then anti-zone. Yeah, I remember this is the one of the highest longest turnaround when you are performing this kind of algorithm. This is C shape, and another square. Right, and there you go. So this is what I call this a kind of inverted B shape, right? And this is quite easy for me though, but only once I miss in the middle, definitely have to go on through those algs to perform this shape, right? Right. So what I do as well, when it comes to this P232, I don't perform this such. I'm just doing the inverse, uh, which is basically what I perform on this P1. I just mirrored it only, so you can see that it comes with R prime originally on my right lingo, but on my left lingo it will be L. Similarly with my U prime in my typical P131 alt, but it will come as U. My F also will become F prime. My U will become U prime. My R will become L prime, right? And my U prime will become U, of course. My R prime will become L. My F prime will become F, and my R will become L prime. Originally on my printed OLL, I wrote this algs over here that comes with all left left lingo, of course, just to perform this such, right? So we can just jump into the next one. Because most likely if I caught in the middle, I have to spend a lot of time performing that mirrored P shape for P1. So this one is quite easy though, because this is basically like a Y move like this. But if I will be performing this shape, this P shape, the bar will be on here in front of me. So I'll show you later. This is R prime, U prime, F prime, F prime, U, F, R. Right. Oops. See. I just glimpsed on the algs and I did mistake though. So I just better perform it normal. Okay, cheapums mistake. Wait. Alright. Okay, let me try this one once again. Okay, this is what I'm telling you. Based on the algorithm, it's supposed to be coming like this, but you have to perform the Y rotate like this. But though I managed to just to perform normal like this, assuming that I just already done the Y rotation, right? So it would be, this is already my pattern, so which means this part should be facing to me if I'll be performing a P shapes, right? All right. The other one is that's for the P3 42, and the other one is for this one. This is quite easy because I remember this coming from part of the two-look OLL. And once that we see a square there, in any other any shapes, we basically do F wide turn, right? And then just do a single RU R prime U prime, and then RW wide or F prime small. But it will just lead you to another OLL, and then once again, right? See this one, I remember this is a two look, and I just perform wide, right? Even this cross, even if I don't know before the the, the algorithm of this, I just make a wide turn for that. And even this one also, sometimes we do for this line, we do a single F move, but of course we have a PLL for that, OLL for that. And this is what I'm telling you now. So this is, which is pretty much correct, which we did already in our two look OLL, right? Right, so now let's move on to the next one, which is the eye shapes. Basically, eye shapes comes with the four algorithms, and I found eye shapes also. So it's very challenging actually. It's hard to recognize, especially if you're getting full eye shape already. But when I get starting only with some few eye shapes, it's quite easy for me to recognize because I don't mind the other algorithm. But when I completed the four eye shapes, that makes me more time to recognize, particularly on showing the bars on different eye shapes. But if you will see, they're only like it's quite easy performance of your algorithm. So you do a too sexy move, and once again, right, and the eye shape will come here on the I151, right. So a typical two look OL will do F turn here, but of course since we will perform it correctly on one look OLL, and that is only like a couple of sexy moves. Okay, next is this 52 we have here on the bottom, right, which means the bar will be on the side then. So this is quite fancy move for me because there will be a Y prime to rotate later on the middle of your algorithm, right? Just like you're performing like Swift. But look at this. I just perform it once, but basically it's not yet the shape. Otherwise, if you move it like this, like a Y prime, and then perform it once again, and there you go. Right, it's quite a fancy move like a VPM that we are rotating to Y to the left, right? This one is right. Yeah, I'm sorry. We are rotating from. Wait. See, now I did confuse this time. Literally, actually, I'm confused with the prime, particularly in the movements of X and Y primes. Right, right. So okay, it's to the left. I'm sorry, it's to the left. So Y prime is to the left. Right, let me just perform it once again. Yes, to the left. So that is I252 OLL. Now let's move on to the I456, right? And this is kind of fancy also for me, but I found it hard before. But it's just a matter of looking for the U prime, R prime, UR. Should be done it twice, and the rest would be just returning back those wide moves. Right, right. It will not come directly from that shape, right? And I think this is the one now. A couple of algorithms will perform it. It will lead you to this eye shape, right? Right. It's so easy to memorize and put it on your muscle memory actually. So that's why I found this I456 OLL is quite easy. And let's move on to, I think this one though, the I355 here at the bottom, right? Tell you frankly, this is the most, I think, second difficult, or even not. I think it's the most the difficult OLL that I'm performing until now, and not only because it comes with so long algorithms, and sometimes these two bars is basically confuse me whether I put it on my in front of me or just side by side. And similarly, we have also single dot there. That makes this one also complicated once that you come across with that shape as well. And I thought the awkward algorithm is the most difficult one, but I found that this is much more difficult on my own personal opinion only. Right, so performing this one is quite tedious actually, to tell you frankly. And Hopefully I will perform this one correctly. I tried my level best not to look for the algorithms because I do a lot of mistake whenever I'm looking for the algorithms. The muscle memory takes place. It should return by seemingly smoothly as it goes. Right, so see, I even perform it wrong now for the first time. Okay, let's try to do this one once again. Right. Oh gosh. Wait a minute. I started wrong algs and there you go. I'm good. I'm done with that one now. Let's try to do it a bit slow first. That Y is basically, I will tell you also one thing. Instead of doing that performing on the both sides bar, I basically just turn my Y into this. Or the both bars should be facing in front of me. Alright, so yes, I didn't perform it well. When I see this shape, which means I performed it correctly though. Okay, where am I now? Now, gosh. Let me do it, perform it once again now. Okay, I want to execute it a bit faster. Oops, so that I could remember this, doing it based on my muscle remembered. Oops. Pretty much I'm doing more than two look now. Okay, now let me do it once again. Once I remember the R prime F R U, and there you go, I remember the rest of the algorithms which is the RF RU is the crucial there actually, right? And I think two or three more done. Got a mistake once again. Okay, once again, I'll not skip this one because even until now I want to really get more efficient into this algorithm actually. Alright, big mistake again. I think I overshoot my turn though. Right, probably. Oops. So you can just imagine if you've been cubing for about 10 years, really this is quite easy for them, right? For me, I'm just barely more than a year, so really until now, even I'm a full OLL still, I mess up with my algs though, right? So I think I did some overshoot on that one though. Okay. Okay, once again, let's do it this. Right, correct. I performed it correctly. Alright, second. Oh gosh. Almost there now, actually. Right, okay. think I missed those turns. Wait a minute. Actually, I still have with me my printed algorithms. Even sometimes I still opening it up and reviewing all the algs there, right? The most hardest part of typical algorithm is if I normally stop in the middle, and that cost me a lot of problem, right? And sometimes if I did the wrong first move, and everything will gonna be messed up though. Okay, once again, let's do this one. All right. Right, actually the slowest I'm doing, it's the most prone that I'll be doing a mistake. See, someone spoke to me and caught him mistake in the middle. Right, right. So this will take more years now. Right. Right. And I got it right. Actually, I have noticed that I'm turning uh, my R2 prime into R2 actually. If I might follow what the Feliks notation does, it should be done in reverse, right? In reverse, like this. What I'm doing is, I don't know, I able to just performing on the R2 right side, not the prime though. Right? So this, without performing the Y, of course, if initially it's coming like this on this shape, I'll just do a Y, right? Either Y prime, it doesn't matter. So what I'm doing at the moment, once that I see the shape, as long as it should be in front of me, right? I don't know, they perform Y there, they might stop here like this, and if you done it in this manner, definitely you will be not be solving this shape. So which means I don't know, why they put Y. And so for me, it's removing Y, it would be in this shape manner. It doesn't matter though, right? Because hardly some people doesn't know where is the Y prime and what is the Y, right? Is it to the right, to the left? So a bit confusing also on the for those people who are learning a full OLL, right? So let me perform this one. And there you go. All right, so it took us a lot of time here in I355, and now let's move on to fish shapes. So in fish shapes, we have some 4 algorithms here, and for this one, it's a couple of patterns I first memorized on this. Particularly, I found the easiest is this one, the F437. So by forming, I'm sorry, F437, right? So because of the F and the R U R prime U prime R U R prime F prime, it's quite easy to perform and do it in more in your muscle memory, right? And one more will perform again. And there you go. So if you do that one in fast, that would be easy though. Right, the other shape of this F437 is in the other reverse. You will see that the the shape is over here, but the square is over here. I found this one difficult at first because this confused me on the algs, particularly in one of the shape of C, and the way it moves the algs is pretty much the same with this, so I basically interchange those algs. But if you come to your best way of doing it, it might be having no problem in your side. Right, so this is R. So once again, you will see I will do the U2 here, but Feliks Zemdegs do the U2 prime over here. Right. I think I did a mistake now. Wait a second. Right. Alright, so once you see this shape, which means this is the other shape of the F437. So we'll just perform it once again. And another one, of course, is another shape. Of course, this is another shape for OLL. Another one shape for the OLL. And there you go. So you will see the fish shape would be here. This is the tail of the fish, and this is the face and the body of the fish. So perform this one is quite easy though, once that you made the correct first R and U2. Of course, that's the most important. Okay, now let's jump into another fish shape that it became easy for me when I managed to do the first is the F19, excuse me, and I just performed the mirror of that one without doing this algorithm, right? So which means I will be doing in most of the left side lingo, right? Let's perform this one first. Right, I think this is the one. Oh, not yet. Yeah, this one. So later on I'll be doing only the mirror of this. This would be facing over here, this tail will be here, and this bar will be here. So I'll be performing using a left hand lingo, like there you go. So which means this F9 OLL on this F210 equivalent, I'll just performing it in the mirror of that F9. Right, I'll be using the left hand. Oh, wait a minute. Just done a mistake there. Right. Alright, once again. Okay, wait. Just like I said, if I'm performing a mirror, I'm also remembering how I did it on my right hand actually. Alright, wait a minute. Right. Right, again. Normally how I did it on the right hand. Alright. And I think this is the one, right? So look at this, and the shape showing in my screen is like this, right? But I will not be performing this out, but instead it's error of my F19 algorithm, which is the fish shape. Okay, that will complete our fish shapes. So there are 4 algorithms there. Now let's move on to night move shapes. Night move shapes, right? Night move shapes, I also applied some mirrors over here, and I think one of my base here is this K113, right? It's K113, which means the K214 is I just make a mirror, right? Because it comes with R prime there. So I'll no, one sec. I'm sorry, there. It should be a K416. I'll be performing the mirror of K113. So let me just do that one first. And there is a Y prime move over there. Right? And there you go. One second. So this is now the equivalent of K113, which is also the same algs mentioned there on my screen. But on my K416 is it shows like this in the shape, but it would be in right lingo. But what I do is okay. No, it's still, I'm sorry, it's still K113, by the way. I'm sorry. Okay, let me just complete this one first and show you the mirror of what I have performed in K113, and I'll do it in K1416 using my left lingo, right? And once again, right, and once again, and there you go. See, so which means now basically the shape is right. Am I doing it correctly? What is this shape? Okay. So it was K214, right? It's K214. So which means the mirror of what I have done it in K113 is K214, right? It's still the same shape shows, but I will not be performing the. I'm sorry, I'm not showing it to you. There. I will not be performing the R prime, but I'll be doing the wide L prime. Right? There. Right? So that is the mirror of K113. So the other couple of night moves shapes is when I complete these night moves, hardly I could recognize how I will do the pattern or the algs, because basically the first two that I have shown you, they are having boss here and here. But only the difference of this K4 and K3, K4 and K3 of 16 and 15 algs are having only single edge over here, but there's a bar there. And similar what I have done in K1 and K2, I have just make a reverse or the mirror equivalent of K1 so that I could perform the K2. So now this time, maybe I will just show you first the K13, a K315 alg, right? So which means I'll be performing the same alg as well, right? Right. So which means I just performed that R wide, R prime wide, and U prime R wide, the same that you're seeing there on my screen. But this is the K315, so which means later I'll be performing the mirror, but you can see that the shape is totally in upside down. But let me just finish this K315, right? And now let's move on to OLL K416. right there. So you notice that the shape is similar to that if I just made it like this, right? It's an inverse knight shape, right? Which is L, like this one. You can see the bar here, this one also, and this one for the corner, and one there for the edge. Okay, hardly this is the last all that I have performed it by memorizing and completing my OLL. I just gathered about, I think, four mirrors on the original lingos of that particular shapes. So which means it's quite easy for me now to perform this, since I knew already the right lingo. So I'll just perform this one in mirror. Right. So there you go for the night moves. Now let's move on to the awkward shapes. First, I found out awkward is the most difficult shapes in OLL, and not because it's for algorithms and awkwardly is hard to recognize, and the algorithm is quite long though, right? But I found this one that I don't know if you believe me, I have also applied here a mirror from this awkward shapes. I think it's not even four. I think it's more than four mirrored I did on the original shapes that I performed. And I think my base is uh, a I think my base is A3 41 OLL, and this awkward 41 OLL is quite easy for me because there is a two, sorry, I'm not showing you to you this one, I'm sorry, A3 41 OLL, right? So by performing this one more time, and there you go. So because of this headline, the other one is the most difficult part of the awkward shape for me when I completing these awkward shapes. So this makes me the base a lingo for my awkward shape, and later is I'll just perform the reverse of this. I don't even remember which one of these. Yeah, of course this one supposed, because there's two headlights there. So I will not be rotating into upside down awkward shape, but rather I still be doing the same shape, but shape will be on the right hand and this tail will be here, and of course the those two lights will be there. So let me just complete this A31 A341, and there you go. And let's perform the mirror of A341 using, of course, left lingo. Okay, so using L moves, right? Right. What I'm doing is most of my U2s are I'm doing it single. Of course, in my left hand, it's quite hard for me to do this kind of flex. In my right hand, similar actually. Okay. So now you can see the shape now. Basically, it should come like this. But I did not perform this all given by Feliks and the mirror approach. And same like I'm saying, it's while I'm performing the mirror. Technically, I'm performing back in my mind what I'm doing on my right lingo. Alright, so this is for the two awkward shapes that comes with headlights. But let's move on to now to this awkward shape, two more awkward shape using this shapes. And I believe that one second, I don't remember that I'm performing F move here. Remember, I did perform this algorithm without doing. Yeah, this Y is of course this will gonna be this bar will be for you. Alright, so which means wait a minute. Wait a minute. Alright. Okay. Right. Alright. See. Now, a shape is coming like this there on the screen, but basically, instead of you using the adjustment of the upper face like a U-turn, they just mentioned as Y rotate, right? Y rotate. Because anyhow, we don't know what are the colors on this side, but it doesn't matter. But the most important is, in my case, this is my base algorithm actually, right? Every time I see the shape, especially this shape is always on the right. I remember that I have to do it on the right lingo. Only I need to make it in Y prime, right? Like this one. Because this is what the pattern what I do it in the right lingo later in A230 I'll do it only in mirror equivalent of what I'm doing on my right lingo, right? So which means this will be in this shape later is it will come like this and this tail will be over here, right? All right, this shape is quite easy for me to remember. Now if I will be performing this A230, okay, of course I'm not doing the F moves here, but rather only the mirror for that one. Oops, wait, I did a mistake once again. Let's do it once again. And let's do this one, right? Uh, right. Okay, I think I just messed up with my mirror. All right. It's quite difficult to do some mirror execution because I think for me it's not in the muscle memory, it's where I first initiated doing it in my original lingo, because technically before I do or perform the mirror, I'm performing already the original lingo on that particular sides, and it's quite hard for first, right? Hardly perform it correctly, right? Right, if I will just return back to this, I'll just perform this R, it will become of course L prime, of course. L prime, U prime, L, this is U, L prime, U, L. So instead of F, it will be uh, right. This is F. No, this is F prime. This is F. So this should be F, and this is U, and this would be uh, instead of F, it will become F prime. R is will become L prime. U will become U prime, and R prime will be L. Right. So this is correct. So if you see this shape already, which means I performing the correct mirror of this quad A2 supposedly, right? Again, this is L prime, U prime, L. This is U, L prime, U, L, F prime. Oh no, I mean F, right? U, I think. Wait, I perform with F prime, right? So it should be F, U, and this is should be F. It will become F prime, L prime, U prime, and R. Okay, so once again, let's do it a bit faster mode. Right, so this is L prime, U prime, L, U, L prime, U, L, F prime is this, no, F, U, F prime, L, U prime, I'm sorry, that's L and L. Right now, see, I got the shape of B. Right, sorry, it's not there, the algorithm. I just inverse this one and mirror this right lingo into left lingo. And you can see now the shape is basically like this, right? So I don't perform this F mode, and what I do is just inverse mirror of this A1. Similarly, of course, I remember it should be, I did it like this before, and it should be in Y rotation down, right? And of course, I have to perform in this manner, just like what I have done before. It was this one is there and the tail is here, but should be laying this in front of me. So for now, this will be laying this one in front of me with this bar, right? So let's perform this algorithm mirror of our A1. So I'll return back to this A1 29 again. So make all the R into L prime, make all the U into U prime, make all the R prime into L, and make all the F prime into F, and F to F prime, of course. So this will be in L prime, U prime, L, U, L prime, U, U, L, F, U, F prime, L prime, U prime, and of course it will come this L, right? So now we have performed the four awkward shapes. Time here in slow-mo, particularly in that particular mirror side. And let's move on to L shapes. Right? L shapes is quite challenging as well, because the more complete the 6L shape, it become more harder and harder to recognize. And okay, so but there are some shapes here. It's easy to perform because of those patterns. Right? Um, I think I have just had two L shapes before while I'm completing my OLL, and I remember I think I did a lot of these this wide move, right? But I found it quite easy on this L2 L248 and L2 L147, right? And now this is technically, when I saw first this was the first time I did the mirror, because it's very obvious that this shape is you can see that R prime U prime is basically it's the actual mirror of that one on this equivalent shapes. So I'll show you first by performing this L248 using F move and R 60 move twice, and once again, and you can see the shape is over here, the L shape. This is now our headlights, and then we have the bar here. So which means I have to perform it once I see the shape. I have to do it in the right lingo, right, with a 260 move. And you can see the L147 is basically it's the actual mirror of that one. So instead of F, now it's F prime. Instead of R, now you do the L prime now, right? 260 move on the left lingo, and then of course with F, and again F. See the shape now? It's the same on our pattern. It's facing one as I see the facing here on the right with the two headlights and bar here. Of course, I have to perform this L shape with like pretty much it's a mirrored of the L2, right? And hardest part of these shapes is from L5 and L6. Later we'll do this one last part. And this one, it found this one is quite easy. This more on Y modes. This one. And the L3, oh wait a minute, the L349 is only the difference from the L2, and they don't have a headlights here. So which means I do the more widely turning over here, right? And it will come on to another equivalent actually, which is I believe it's L450. Yes, right? So which means you can perform this one by practicing it L415, L349. But we'll just complete the alts, and one more, and one more, and last one is there. Now the shape is this one with the bar here, and then we don't have headlights. I'm doing not quite effective white turns, and sometimes some people are doing like this, right, in reverse, just like what the HansPerm is doing, most efficient. And of course, you want to have a less grip. What I'm doing, a lot of grip there. See, right? I'm not performing that kind of approach yet. Maybe someday I'll be improving my rotation as well and minimize my grips. Okay, now let's move on to this L450. Yes, and you will see that there's no headlight, but the L shape is here at the bottom, but still you can see the bar here, right? Right. Right. And there you go. So we have a bar here, no headlight, and this L shape is at the bottom. We have line there and one single line here. So I found this one easy. I could perform this one a bit faster during my solve, right? Sometimes, except for this one only, the most tough part of the L shape is this L5 and L6. Right, it's pretty much a combination of every L shapes you have seen there, and only it's just a matter of doing it correctly, because once that you perform this one, this 55 L5, 53 and 54, there's similar algs on this kind of shape, on this kind of algs, these shapes, and it would be in the different shape though, but no, that's why I a bit confused when I'm performing this one, particularly on the square shapes, on this L5 53 and L6 54. All right, so it's still be working on more on Y moves, right? But we'll see that this one will be in R prime move, and there's a headlight, and there's a bar here, and of course shape will be here at the bottom, but the other one will be on the top, right? It will be on the top, right? So which means I think I did a mistake. 1 second. Right, I think, yeah, it's let's okay, this one is same shape that we have done it previously. Right, again, I think I did wrong. 1 second, again. Oops. Right, R prime, R white prime, Y. Alright, I think I did it correctly now. Right, there you go. So almost couple of algorithms we can see the shape now what we are want to show. And this one is L5 50D, right? Let's perform now once again the alg. The other one later in L6 is using R wide. This one is R wide prime, right? Right. There you go, right? Quite confusing, especially if you're doing also wide moves on the squares shapes. So that's why this one is really confused sometimes, so while you're doing speed cubing and solving. Right. The other one, the L654, is almost the same, but most of the lingo will be on the right. But I mean the movements is all on the right, but it would start with the R wide. R U R U R U prime R prime U R U 2 R. Then back to R wide prime. Right. Again. Alright, and there you go. So which means the headlights are there still. We have a combination of this bar, and then of course this is L shape, right? And there you go. Right, so now that's almost about to complete now, but we still have lightning bolt shapes and no edge flips correctly. Okay, but okay, this one is having 6 algorithms on the lightning bolts. Okay, and I found this one quite easy though, because I'll show you later there's a good variant for doing that. So especially for this, I think most of my lightning bolts are quite easy for me. I'm doing it more effectively. Alright, this is the B17 lightning bolts. You can see that there will be a difference later. It will be on the top. Is it on the top? Wait. Yeah, it's on the top is and here in the side. Top and the side. Right, but this time this is more on our moves also, and then U2 prime and R wide movements. The other one is the B28 shape, right? So which means it would be basically start with the R wide prime, and then it will come in this one, right? R, right? See, it will fall to square type, square shape, right? And again, it's L shape though. And of suppose this is first of our OLL, and there, and this is another shape for L shape, right? And this is what we're looking for now. So this is a part of lightning, right? Lightning bolt, right? Yes, lightning bolts. And I find this bar here and this bar side, yeah. Right. All right, wait. Right. Did wrong there. Right. Right. Wait a minute again. Actually, later we'll perform this one though. Right, that shape I have shown. Alright, let's perform that one again. Alright, it's a quite short one though. You might overshoot because if you might be performing a different owl, it's almost similar to that movement, especially doing those wide turns, wide R turns on the shapes of square, and maybe similarly to L shapes that we previously seen though. Right. Yeah, this one, now the shape. This is the B28 OLL now. And there you go. Right. Okay, now let's move on to the B311. You have seen it, I performed it before. And this one is will be on wide move as well. Right. And right. And there you go. The shape of this one is you won't be confused with other lighting balls I have shown you, because there are no complete two bars there, but only single bars coming. 1 second. Yeah, which means it once that the shape you have to perform it in front of you, because the other one will be on the different side. B311. So instead I've done it in right lingo, I'll be doing it in all left lingo, which is, just imagine that this R prime, small R prime or R white prime, is basically, it's what I do is the wide L in the left lingo. So that's why you can see this right there. Right now, the other one is the B539 and the B640 algs. And I think my base algorithm here is the B640, because I did the mirror once again for performing. Okay, by the way, this is the B6. I'm sorry, wait, it should be here. The B640. This is the base alg, which I'll be performing, but I'll just perform the mirror of this so that we could perform this shape also. But that would be a B539. I think, yes. It's already mirrored, I believe so. Yeah, because it's already in elf. Yeah, in elf lingo. Okay, so I'll just show you how to execute this. And yeah, there we go. So this is the B640, which is the same I perform, which is R prime F and RU, R prime U prime, F prime U R. And basically, if you will see this later on, B B539, it's the shape will be in reverse. This bar will be on the right and this one will be on the left. So you will be performing the L moves though. Right, but of course this shape is for B640. Found this one is quite easy for me while applying this one in my solves, right? Alright, there you go. So this one is the B539. Right. So almost completing our OLL, and now this time I will be now on the no edges flip correctly. Okay, these are so many here. Actually, it's having 8 algorithms, but the most hardest part for me here when I was starting to complete this no edge flip correctly is technically this O1 algorithm. Second was this O6 18. Third was the O5 17, and sometimes this O7 19 as well. And technically I started learning this no edge flip correctly. Out of this 8 algs I started was a part of the O8. Oh wait, you're not seeing it on my screen because this is now the last I think it's the last one now. O8. Oh, by the way, I can alright, that was the O8 actually. So right, we'll just see where we could start though, and probably I could start with O1. No issue. Okay, we can just start with O1 first. Right, this one. Okay, this O1, right? So the technique of this O1 no edge flip correctly was almost similar to 0618 OLL, because of the start off of the R U2. And once again, my U2 prime here is I'm just performing U2. Alright, so maybe it's quite effective while doing it in U2 prime, right? Which means you have to do it on your left hand, right? So anyhow, so this is O1 first algorithm, okay? And it will return back to a normal edge, no edge flip correctly about, I think, 8 or 9 one. So it's a bit longer one though. Actually, it's already this one, the first one, but there will be an equivalent for this one later once again, right? Actually, that would be for this shape, which is the O2, right? So which means only I need to put this bar here on the front. So this is quite easy because this is like too sexy move with an F, then a wide turn. There you go, right? So okay, we never completed the O1 at the moment. Okay, so now let's move on to let me just do this one a bit wider now at the bottom, right? Because right, okay, now on the O3, okay, on the O3, so if we will perform this one, it's quite easy also as well because it's similar to O4 definitely. So with this dot, it's actually it's a dot, but one one color over here, right? Performing this one will be in the white move, right? And then F move, and there you go. But it will be on the return of O4 algorithm. There you go. This is O4, and this would be a wide move, and then F would be, I think I did a mistake. 1 second. Okay, again, wide move, right? And of course, it would be now return back to right O3, right? So again, wide move, U prime, and there you go. Right. So now let's move on to 0618, which is almost similar later with the O1. And this, I think we can perform this one correctly now. 1 second. Right, so this one is, I think I over, yeah, wait a minute. I overturned that one. Okay, now let's perform the 0618. Right. Basically, if I perform more, it will be probably about 5 ounce. But anyhow, this is what we're looking for. But this one, you see there's a Y there. But of course, you have to face it this manner. But just in case, you have to perform that one, it should be in this manner, right? Because basically it's a Y. You have to move like this. Wait a minute. All right, there you go. Right, now the other one is for 07. We called sometimes this one's like a a smiling Mickey Mouse, and this one is like a frown Mickey Mouse shape, right? But this is totally different algorithm, right? So we have an M slice here, right? But this one will fall to another algorithm, right? Another one, right? Another one, and there you go. So I'll just not complete that one. Instead, I'll just face it here in front, right? So this is like a kind of Mickey Mouse side here, and this one is in the edge. So M U, there you go, right? Now let's move on to last two algorithm of our OLL. I'm sorry, and that's for right for 0517, right? We have seen already that one when I performed that Mickey Mouse, right? Which is the O the 0719 OLL, right? So this one is right. It will lead you to the 06 OLL, right? This is a bit longer though. Maybe I'll just perform the what do you call this one? That Mickey Mouse, so that we could jump into this 0517. Right, similar to 01 no edge flip correctly algorithms. It will take you 10 algorithms just to go onto that dot. Right now, let me just jump into this. I'll make it 017 7, and right, so that we can now see the shape of our 0517. So this one is should be like this. We have a diagonal line here, but the bar should be in the side and the bar should be there on the top, right? So perform this, and there you go, right? And the last will be this one. Tell you frankly, this is the first algorithm that I have learned out of this 8, and that was the time that I was already still on 2 look OLL. So this is quite I remember, I could easily remember this one because of this pattern, but it seems that it's comes with a 1 over 216 probability that this will come on your soul. Right. So this time, okay, let's clean this up first. Right now, yes. So what I do sometimes, if I don't do the AUF, is it will not fix immediately your upper face. Suppose I did not perform AUF, right? I'll show you this one. So we need to do a U2 there. But if I will do AUF like this, now perform it once again, and automatically it will be solved. Alright, so there you go. So it took us almost nearly 2 hours to complete our 57 OLL, and so just bear with me. I'm sorry for this very long instruction, because even I'm I'm already OLL, but still I need to do more practice on this algorithm, because of course this algorithm is a big number, particularly if you're just starting up your cubing, and if you see 57 algorithms, maybe you might stop doing it, and you'll just drop your cube though. Yeah, so a good advice of though, sometimes it's not good to be on a rush, just like what I did. Maybe a day or in a week, at least I have 2 to 3 algorithms that I will memorize, and just apply it during the time that I'm practicing my solve. and that's it until I reach 57 OLL. Alright, so thank you very much for tuning in, and hopefully I'll be performing a live stream on PLL, and yeah, that's only 21 PLL, and even in my PLL hardly I could have some problem performing correctly, particularly in the some of the G pumps there, and sometimes the A pump, yes. But that would be on my next live stream, right? So thank you very much for tuning in, and that would be it. So bye bye for now.